Okay. All right. I think we're on. Okay. Well, the lighting's a little better tonight. I think I need some more professional equipment other than the iPad for the video, huh? All right. Let me see if I can adjust this. I don't want you looking at my nose, but I feel a little too close. All right. Okay. How's that? I don't know. All right. Hey, it's Shena here. Just a little sofa session tonight and a little tidbit and tip and hint. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but oh my gosh, I had a really overwhelming day and it's nice that it's Friday. Being 8 weeks post-op, I'm still not back to normal. I've not been normal for 2 years. And right now, we're on the eve of the 2-year diagnosis of my very aggressive form of breast cancer. And so I'm feeling, I can feel it vibrating in my cells, even though my mind, I'm really happy. It's still, I had a couple of emotional bits today, a little bit of tears and crying because it's looking back at how much I've come through. And it's been really good. Since this whole journey has started, I really have not been able to work. And in fact, I had shut my store down for a while. For those of you that don't know, I own a retail business in a touristy town here in Wisconsin, and it's been a go keeping that place running. I've had friends and people step in and volunteer to take the reins when I haven't been able to be there. And, I did shut down for a period, and that was also difficult after the pandemic and, being shut down because obviously being an antique and vintage store, we were non-essential. So we were shut down by the federal government during the pandemic. So anyway, a little bit about if I can talk, a little bit about what I want to talk about is also maintaining business in this strange new world, and especially if you're also encountering health issues. I mean, I am so blessed, I feel, and to have been able to keep the doors to my store open thanks to the help of everybody that's invested time and, money and everything to make sure that it all works out, stays going, so that at the end of my cancer journey, I have a place to return to work. I'm really not, I don't feel capable of being out there every day and working a 9-to-5 job, if that's even still a thing in this new age of, from the pandemic, working remotely and working from home because of my health issues. And if you look at my schedule of doctor's appointments, it is appointments, if not every week, every other week, and usually 2 days a week now that we're getting down to the end here. And so that's been hard because I did have moments during, excuse me, I think I need to get drink of water. Oh, and I can't find my water. All right. Can't find my water. Excuse me. But I had moments where I was looking at selling the business. I had moments where I was thinking about just handing over the reins of the business to somebody. I had thoughts of just shutting the business down completely. And I'm really glad that I did not, and that I persevered, and that I took the steps and measures, and years of building relationships and friendships and, putting my light out into the world has really, in a time when I needed it most, it has come back to me. And this is the second time in my life that this has happened. The first was when I developed my chronic pain condition in 2015 after a surgery, an angiogram. So I've been dealing with this for a while, but today was a really taxing day. I've been able to spend time in my store, but I've not been able to actually really fully work. And everything that comes into this business gets put back into the business. And I've not been able to keep a lot of hours like I used to before. I've cut down on the hours I've that were open, and I've also done that to trim overhead costs as well with the rising costs of electricity and with heat. We're finding as small business owners that we are readjusting, and uh, this is the first time I think I've kind of dabbled outside of a podcast interview that I did, and I'll post the link in the comments. But this is the first time that I've really treaded into this area of discussing, how I've made it through with a retail business in the last several years. I mean, first the pandemic and then getting hit with cancer. And we have cattail hitting me now. So it seems like every time I get on here, every fur baby wants to be center of attention. Like, right? Pay attention to me, pay attention to me. But I'm touching on how I managed to do it. It was I cannot stress enough, and I used to think in my life before that, a lot of your merit really relied on what you knew. But as I've learned throughout the last several years is that it's not what you can do. It's not the skills that it is the skills you have. But ultimately, I've really realized the value in all of those years of building relationships, networking, working with other people, lifting other people up, helping them in their adventures. Is what has, I believe, sustained me throughout this period in my life. I could not do it. I've also had to access other resources in my personal life. So if anybody's looking at things on how do I trim food costs, what do I do for supplemental insurance? What about how am I going to pay that gas bill this month at home? What am I going to do to, make sure that I have the transportation back and forth? What if I fall behind on my rent or mortgage? There are all sorts of resources that I've had to look into and learn to access. Unfortunately, those do not apply to small business. You cannot get funding to pay your gas bill for a small business. You cannot get help paying your rent for your business. And so when I looked at that, I didn't know if it was going to be worth my while to keep the doors open. But then when I looked at the other hand, that I needed something to return to at the end of this cancer journey, that I needed a job that would suit my lifestyle, that if I needed to step away and take time to maintain and manage my health, that I was in control of being able to do that and on my own terms. And I finally had to, in my business, really reach a point where I felt rather bold in being, I always felt like I was doing something wrong if I had to shut the doors or close up for the day or, not be open for a day, to, the inconsistency, the things I know that are not good in business. I had to take that, put it in a box and shove it aside because I had to do it. And I had to do it for my health, or there was not going to be no more Shena and no more business. And with nobody to take it over, what am I doing? Leaving, something for a mess for somebody else. And I don't want to do that. And that'll go into talking about funeral planning and other stuff as I travel through this other part, now that I really feel that I've solidified my position or my mission, my position in my mission too. And, I've taken the skills that I've learned throughout the years, and I have this newfound zest, this internal zest. I mean, my body is very fatigued. I have tissue expanders in my chest right now because we are with the skin grafting. I decided to give reconstruction one more shot, and I cannot tell you, it's going great. And my mental health is improving. And I know it's putting my body through a lot, but I think that my mental health being affected was putting my body through a lot too. And I want to be whole and reclaim my body from cancer and reclaim everything. I want to take my business back, which is what I had started this video with. When I look at that, I want, like today, for example, I did way more than I probably should have today. We have a huge event in Westfield, Wisconsin, which is where my antique store is, and it's the 2 days after Thanksgiving. It's called Taste and Tour, and you get a map. You go around to all of these places. There's tasty treats to eat, and there are the stores are open, and we have handcrafted goods and all sorts of fun things to make holiday shopping stand out in our town. It is like one of the largest events. Well, we literally started getting ready for this in September. I started getting, with the help of Laura, who's been taking care of the store while I've been away. She is there with me. That's how I'm able to, right now, keep things going. I might not be able to work and be able to have the personal, what do I want? My personal income that I did before. I am there, but we are funneling so much back into the store, plus navigating the increasing costs of operating. And but I'm really tired. And it was a huge toll on my body. I know I'm 8 weeks post-op, and this was pushing it. Last week I just kind of sat at the desk. I'm trying to slowly get back into things. I know I'm not going to be able to really work alone or fully take the reins by myself again for another 6 to 7 months until my final surgery is completed and the healing is done. So it's probably pushing it out another 8 months because of healing time from the surgery. But it feels good to step into that position. And as I was going back to, feeling bad about having to take charge and take care of my health and not be as consistent in business as I want to be, because trust me, wow. It's been a long journey to recreating this business that I have, and creating a sustainable model of business. And as small business owners, we all know those struggles. But anyway, today is just, I really feel a lot of pressure. I am looking at, granted it's the 2 days after Thanksgiving, so that's what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks away. But I still am like, oh my gosh, we have to get this stuff done because I know I'm slow. So that goes to, I guess, a point is if you are going through the throes of a medical issue, planning, and you can only do so much. And it sucks to have to take a back seat when you want to work fully and thrive fully. And it especially sucks if it's been 2 years since you've been able to function normally. But somehow, with the support of wonderful people around me, wonderful friends, wonderful associates, and also just the kindness of my clients that come into the store and my customers, everybody has been really supportive. And I like that. So I try to foster that sense of community in our store. And and I can feel the love coming back. And I like that. I feel that the light that I've put out into the world is coming back to me in so many ways. And so like today, when I feel overwhelmed and I really feel that, I wish things were good and I could be right back in the action again and be not just have a business that's self-sustaining, but have my own personal life and my own life that's self-sustaining. And I can not wait my patience has been tested. I've had to take the downtime. I've had to regroup and breathe in the meanwhile, in the in-betweens, and have patience in those times. So I feel that I'm being distracted because every time I get on here, like I said, it's so you can hear dog toenails in the background. That's really annoying. And he just goes at me. But to have that light and to see the light at the end of the tunnel where I know it's going to be okay. And now let me say, I feel very blessed that I've made it through this journey with cancer, and my heart goes out to all of those that have lost people to cancer, that don't have this opportunity to step back into a business, to have a shot at living a normal, long life. I'm sorry to all of the fallen warriors out there, but that doesn't mean that I should dim my light. Seeing the light at the end of the tunnel has been that huge awakening I spoke of, that shift in we've got to get shit done instead of the victim mentality of, oh my gosh, why me? And some of that I feel also is, sharing my story. And it's not a fun one in a lot of ways, but it is also a fun one in a lot of ways too. I'm just being redundant there. But I believe that because of the goodness of others and for me doing my best every day to work on being the best version of myself, sharing openly with others, I've done it for years. I've done it teaching yoga classes and teaching hands-on healing. But I've done it on a private level. This is the first time that I've put this stuff out there all over the World Wide Web, but by giving others, sharing, being vulnerable and sharing my insights into some painful realities and painful experiences, that the light that I give is coming back to me. And I'm very grateful for that. Seeing the light at the end of this tunnel has made me more impatient because I want to function fully. I want to be self-sustaining. I want everything in my life to be self-sustaining again. And it's been quite the ride. And I know that there's still a bumpy road to go. But today I'm just very grateful that I've taken the reins. I've decided I have to do what's best for my health. I'm happy that I've decided to be brave enough and not feel like I'm doing something wrong for cutting back hours at the store to manage my health, to get other ducks in a row in my life, and other income producing activities, which goes back to another thing. I don't believe that anyone should put all of their eggs in one basket. I heard Oprah. Oprah's been a huge influencer in my life. I will tell you that. Super Soul Sunday just blew my mind. And when I was a little girl, I used to watch Oprah. And Oprah, way back when I was a little girl, anybody my age, anybody Gen X, you all know what Oprah was like when we all first loved her and started watching her and what she became. So I guess right there, that just shows how we can evolve and change and make things better in life. And the good that we put out in the world comes back to us. So feeling the pressure and the heat on, it's like the heat is on. We have this big function. I'm cutting back hours. I'm not able to work physically like I want to. So I have to plan longer periods of time. The things that I've done to keep the store open, it's been very, very taxing. So I think tonight I've already talked for 20 minutes. I'm only going to make this another half hour. Or not another half hour, another 10 minutes. But I need to do some biofeedback work, okay? So we're going to check in with how we're feeling. And so I want you just to get in a comfortable position if you'd like to join me for this. And then just focus on your breath, how it's coming into your body, how you're feeling. And I can feel my heart palpitating. I have a condition called tachycardia where my heart beats at over 100 beats per minute all the time. And so I can really feel. And when I have anxiety, I can feel it in my chest. And today I overdid it with the walking around, the talking to people. I tried to get my hands dirty and shuffle some things and do a little bit of decorating at the store because I am I need to have this store in order to have something to go back to and to keep me going. And when I'm ready to give it the 110% again, I'm giving it 110% right now, but I'm only running it like 50% on myself. So that significantly decreases what my output is. And that makes me just, and I'm filling out paperwork for, different resources to assist me with the added expenses of the cancer treatment. And that is like, getting at me too. And like, I feel it all here. And it's like, I'm breathing like really tight from my chest. And I just like want to panic. And like, I just want to feel like I want to die. And it can lead into a panic attack. Okay. Which we don't want that. I was hospitalized once with a major panic attack and my pulse was literally 256 over 198. It was heart attack level or brain stroke level. And that was not good. And I don't ever want to feel that again. So I have to keep myself level. I do take a medication for the tachycardia. It's called propranolol, which slows my heart rate down. And that also eases up on the anxiety that I can often feel. So, all right. So I'm feeling that. I'm paying attention to my breath. And I feel it here. I feel some slight tingling in my lips. And because I wanted to try to be hands-on in my store today, I can feel it in every fiber of where I had the back flap surgery, where they cut my latissimus dorsi muscle and moved it to my chest, did the skin grafting. Everything is tight. Everything hurts. My back feels like I've literally been baling hay all day long. So if you're a farm person or grew up in farm country and you've baled hay, you know what that feels like. And I feel that like that's what I've been doing just from a little bit of activity today. I'm overwhelmed with not being able to be open the hours I want to be. I'm frustrated at the economy right now. I'm frustrated by feeling continually set back, but I have that light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. So that's what we're going to focus on here. So my breathing is all up here in my chest and I need to slow it down. So what I'm going to do is just inhale deeply into my belly. And I even feel some lightheaded and dizziness. So that's what the biofeedback is. That's checking in with your body, seeing how you're feeling. I have an elevated pulse rate. My breathing is all from my chest and tight. I feel almost like I could go into a panic attack if I didn't get a handle on this. I feel some numbness and tingling in my extremities, especially my hands, slight dizziness. And also, I just feel like I'm really hyper, like I've eaten a lot of sugar and, I'm bouncing off the walls on the inside. That's how I feel like. And all this is stress related. And some of it is also fear. And, what I like to say about fear is you've always heard the terminology false evidence appearing real, and fear is an emotion that's all made up in our own minds. And I also I've also heard it said that, you can't have room for fear and love, faith in your life. There has to be one or the other. So I try to walk that balance of faith, but I am still human and I have human reactions and I become worried about the things of this world because we have roofs to keep over our heads. We have bodies to feed. We have appointments to go to. And so when there's a lot at stake, the fear can be overwhelming, especially when you fear losing everything. And let me tell you, after already losing everything, you don't want to go there again, especially when you're on the upward climb to reaching your fullest potential after a major setback in life. And that's where I'm at. And all of my cells are vibrating with that right now. So I need to calm it down. So that's what I'm feeling as my biofeedback. Plus I feel these sore muscles. So I'm just going to slow it down and do some deep breaths. I'm going to sit upright, pull my shoulders back, tuck my chin in slightly. Take a deep breath in, a low, deep belly breath. Fill it up with air. Bring it up into my heart space through my throat, all the way up to the top of my head. And I'm going to hold it there for a moment and exhale, pushing it down every single vertebrae of my body, squeezing my belly button into my spine as I let it out. And again. Let my chest rise, everything filled with air. I push that fresh breath. I'm sucking into my body, right into all of those sore muscles, into my heart, which is beating really fast because of my fear. And then I bring it up to the top of my head and I hold it there. And then I exhale and release it down, letting it out. And as I do, letting all of those feelings exit my body. And I focus on it. I can focus on every out breath that I'm releasing the tension. I'm releasing the tightness in my muscles from, just running around and taking inventory into the store and talking to customers that I feel like I've spent a whole day out in the field baling hay. I push that breath into those sore areas. And do muscles regrow, by the way? I really can't find an answer. Like, is my latissimus dorsi part? One thing I learned is your latissimus dorsi is the largest muscle in the body. But I'm wondering if those muscles are like starfish. Does that tissue regrow back? If you know, drop it in here. I don't know. But I put that breath into that sore area. And then I also push it into the areas of my body that are tingling, allowing the oxygen to get into there. And I try to ignore the dogs running around as much as possible. Click, 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 click. Time to cut nails. That's another thing. Trying to upkeep with taking care of your animals is I feel guilty a lot because I can't go walk the dogs 2 miles a day. See, all of these things, and I can feel instantly that tightness in my chest. I can instantly feel my face starting to tingle, my hands starting to tingle, my heartbeat faster, my breath accelerating and becoming more shallow. Breathe. And as I breathe those breaths in, I also, any of these thoughts that just keep racing through my mind, I want to just watch them pass by, acknowledge them, let them go. Acknowledge them, let them go. Acknowledge them, let them go. Okay? Oh. And sometimes I find it helps to put my hands in the prayer position with my thumbs together and press my thumbs into the breastbone at your heart as you're breathing, so that I remember that I'm connected to the light, that I'm connected to God, that I am connected to love and not fear. I have somehow made it through this by the skin of my teeth and the grace of God and the goodness of my friends and neighbors and associates, okay? So why do I have this fear? Why am I allowing this fear to creep into me now, causing all of these physical symptoms that are bad for my physical health? And if I don't have my physical health, I cannot do things like keep a business running so that I have a job to go back to at the end of this journey when I reach that light at the end of this tunnel, okay? So I'm just going to breathe into it. Exhale it out. And then every time that I start to have some of these disruptive thoughts or images or fears crop into my mind as I'm doing these deep breaths, as I push them out, maybe what I want to say is I want to add a prayer. One of my favorite things to say is, Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. I ask God to take away the anxiety from me. And, if you're not into the God and Jesus model, whatever you consider source, the universe, nature, wherever you find that connection to all things around you that's greater than you, where you feel connected to everything and everyone around you, okay? So God is source. Jesus is source. I put my trust in you. I trust in you because I do. I feel that my faith has brought me through this cancer journey. I feel that my faith has kept me going. And can you look and see how there's been a shift in me since I started talking about love and light and source and God and Jesus, and pushing those thoughts of fear out of my mind instead of thinking anything that can go wrong will go wrong. No, that's not happening. Okay? God is never too late. And everything that we need, we are always provided for. I really believe that. If you're doing the work and you're putting in the effort and giving it your guts, you will be given blessings and gifts and the ability to control the physiological responses in your body to challenging and stressful situations. And that all starts with managing your breath. Okay? I cannot focus enough in these first videos in my new part of my mission about breath and about being a light and keeping your eye on the light at the end of the tunnel. I can already visualize in my mind as I'm doing this. Once I get my body calmed down, then I can work on visualization. And I can get quiet and focus on my breath. And I can visualize what my business looks like. I watch the traffic coming in and out of my store from March through September. That's the busiest time as far as tourism. I imagine it being full. I look at the tape on the cash register at the end of the day. Well, I actually use Quail, so the program I use to track my sales, and I look at it and I see a large amount. I get an idea in my mind of what ideally I would love to earn every day from all of the channels of my business, not just walk through traffic, but the online work. Also in my coaching, what do I see all of these adventures I do as a business person, I visualize that, what it's going to be like when I can actually do things myself in the store, when I can work again. I visualize myself decorating, because we're the little antique boutique shop. I can visualize myself decorating and running around and helping customers and being hands-on and attending small business administration meetings and going to networking functions. Like, I can visualize everything, and going to Chamber of Commerce events and being able to participate fully, the fairs. Like, I have all of this stuff in my mind that I can see. I'm going to see it. I'm going to think it. I'm going to see it in my mind's eye, see it, taste it, touch it. I want to apply all my senses to it. What I'm doing, I can feel the glass of the beautiful Fenton lamps that I'm picking up and touching. I can feel that in my hands, and I can feel the money as it's exchanging hands with customers as they're buying things. And I'm selling my goods and putting beloved vintage and antique items that jog wonderful memories for people most often into their hands, okay? This is what I hinge on. And now I feel a different excitement boiling up in me, and I can't wait. And if I'm not careful, that becomes impatience. Okay? So I have to focus back on the patience, bring my focus back to my breath. Think about what it's going to be like when my surgery is done, when I have these bulky tissue expanders out of my body, when all medical devices are removed from my body and I have reclaimed my body from breast cancer. I envision that I still continue to get my infusions at the pain clinic every few weeks, which allows me to function fully. I imagine myself fully healed from cancer. I imagine myself fully healed from surgeries and being able to walk the dogs a couple miles a day again, being able to do yoga again, being able to go rock climbing again, being able to go motorcycle riding again. Okay? It's been a long time. But I'm visualizing that with which I want to see in my life. All that is good, all that is love, all that is light, all that helps me be the best version of myself as possible for myself and for the benefit of myself and the benefit of all of those connected to me. And those thoughts right there is what needs to replace any thoughts of fear, of lack, fear of losing everything. You know, knowing what can happen is sometimes the worst feeling. Ignorance is bliss. You know, but we do sometimes need to get in that arena, get kicked around, get bloody to really know what's worth it in life and where we're going to head. You know, we have two choices on how we use our power. We can use it for good or we can use it for evil. And I would love it if we all lived on the side of good and working together as neighbors and coming together and living to create thriving communities and work to help each other fulfill dreams. You know, some people might think that I'm all rainbows and unicorns and rose-colored glasses. But you know what? That's kind of what has gotten me through the tough shit in life. And always striving to be better. Better than I was a minute before, an hour before, 10 hours before, a day before, a year before. Always striving to be better than what I was before. And working on those things. And keeping my eye on that light. My eye is out there to January, February 2023 when I have my last surgery. When this is it. When I have claimed back as much of my body as I can. As much of my, my mental health is better. I can see it all. Bye. Cancer is just a memory in the rear view. But it's also going to be something that I'm going to have to continuously relive because I'm sharing my story with people and I want to inspire other people. And this cancer journey was a huge part of my life. I mean, heck, by the time we get done with this, it's going to be almost 3 freaking years. 3 years, peeps. Unreal. But I should be thankful because some people battle this longer and longer and longer. And the effects and the results are sometimes not favorable. But I know that I look death in the mirror every day. Every day for a year and a half. I saw myself pasty. I saw my teeth gray. I saw my hair fall out. I saw my muscle tone fade away. Gone. I didn't know if I was going to make it sometimes. Sometimes I didn't know if I was going to make it through an infection. And that's a lot to bear. But what I know through this is it was a sock in the gut getting cancer. It was a sock in the gut developing a chronic pain condition while trying to investigate the reason for chronic migraines. It was a sock in the gut getting diagnosed with a debilitating form of arthritis in my body. But I'm not here to give up. I'm still keeping moving forward with my businesses. I'm still keeping forward with my advocacy. I have stepped into myself, I feel. At 48 years of age, I feel like I'm finally stepping into my glory and my true authenticity and owning my power. I'm so happy with what's going on in my life. I've deepened my faith journey as well. I'm really excited. I've stood up and devoted some of my natural talents to the church. And that feels good too. It's so fulfilling. And I know in my mind that I just need to take the steps, do the work, live in the light, push that, excuse me. Where's that drink of water I needed earlier? Oh, my nose is running and my eyes, and I'm sorry, I'm getting all teary-eyed. I thought I was past this shit of getting all emotional and being all pathetic and victim-minded. I don't feel like this is victim-minded, but it's a startling thing to look back over the last couple of years and how far we've made it and all the people it took to make this happen. And literally all of the blood, sweat, tears. Nobody does it alone. I'm going to tell you that right now. I used to think I've done it all by myself, but no, nobody does it alone. We all have people in our lives that help us. That's why your connections are so important. How you make people feel is important. Living in the light is important because this stuff will carry you forward in your life. This will carry you through the dark times, the times when you want to give up, the times when you question everything. And now, granted, are there times when you have to make hard decisions like, I'm going to die, I need to sell this business and shut it down? Yes, there are. That's the harsh reality. But don't let anything slow your roll, because where there's a will, there's a way, and you're going to find out how to do it. And those people that you have, but that have been in your inner circle, that you have journeyed through life with, that you have known as you've grown. Years ago, I used to bartend in Madison at the old Dudley's on South Park Street, which was called Liquid Lyrics Lounge. And I worked there and interacted with, I would say there was a handful of us that were regularly really consistent around each other. And you want to know what? The dreams that we had back then, that we talked about, that we wanted to fulfill, and what we wanted to become, where we wanted to see our journey taking us, and how we wanted to fit into the world and express ourselves in the world. Guess what? What we said back then, we've all become. Maybe not in the way we imagined or in our timing that we wanted it, but it evolved. So you can't tell me that your words do not bear weight, that we do not influence the reality around us. And, that's why I always focus on the breathing, because if we can control our breath, we can control our bodies, we can control our thinking, we can adjust our thoughts. And that creates a different reality around us. And I certainly believe in the power of manifesting. I believe what we think about, we bring about. So today is a big day of me pushing out fears. I would be lying to say that I'm not scared in this new changing economy. But I need to learn to evolve and adjust. Right? We have to. Anyway, I've talked a lot, so we're already 45 minutes in. I did a little breathing, nothing a major exercise, but I want to do a little reading from the New American Bible, and this is from Ephesians 5 and chapter 5, verse 6. So the heading is Duty to Live in the Light. And it says here, actually, let me back up. That's not what I want to, okay, well, I'll just read it all. It's a good passage. I guess it touches on both the dark and the light that I talked about, but duty to live in the light. So this is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 6. Let no one deceive you with empty arguments, for because of these things, the wrath of God is coming upon the disobedient. So do not be associated with them. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. Live as children of light. That's the important part. I don't like all of the wrath stuff. I didn't want to include that, but I couldn't find my place to start through my blurry eyes from crying. But, all right. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. For light produces every kind of goodness and righteousness and truth. Try to learn what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the fruitless works of darkness. Rather, expose them. For it is shameful even to mention the things done by them in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible. For everything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. Watch carefully then how you live, not as foolish persons, but as wise, making the most of the opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not continue in ignorance, but try to understand what is the will of the Lord. And do not get drunk on wine, in which lies debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit, addressing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and playing to the Lord in your hearts. Give thanks always and for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, to God the Father. So, and then that goes back to where I talk about that I try to live, my whole day almost in continuous prayer, giving thanks and gratitude for everything. I don't know. I just sounded like I was like up here evangelizing or something. I don't know. But the most important part was give thanks always. Give thanks always. And to push out the darkness. That's pushing out the fear. That's pushing out the worry. That's pushing out those thoughts that don't serve you, so that you can become the highest and best version of yourself. And I truly believe that when you take source, when you take God, when you work in synchronicity with the universe, when you take, with God as your business partner, that you can make amazing things happen and you can push through these times of adversity. I know that it was God in my faith that pushed me through this, that helped me overcome fear. I think we all have to have something to believe in. And I just the Poison song, Something to Believe In. I might post that in the comments. What else was I going to post in the comments? I'll have to go back and watch this video. I rewatch all my videos and I do them all in kind of a straight shot. And sometimes it's hard sitting through my entire video. So it's a good thing that I like watching myself. Gonna pick apart everything. Oh, my hair, this was out of place. Or, oh, blah, blah, blah. I need to move the camera, adjust the light. One of these days, we'll have a professional studio here. Not one of these days. I can see it happening within the next couple of years, which goes into focusing on the positive and staying in tune with the light. All right, there we are. I'm feeling a little bit better and a little bit more hopeful and a little happier. I hope that I've encouraged you to persevere, okay? If it's within your capabilities, if you have laid the foundation, if you have your army of people on your side, your neighbors, your church parish, your family, if you have all of that and a system to lift you up, those people that are going to get in the arena with you and get bloody and dirty and really make things happen. Wow, you have done some really good shit in this life. And you have those opportunities. So don't let the fear seize you. Don't let looking in the mirror every day like you're a fucking corpse and looking at that pasty white ass skin and no eyebrows and like, it's horrible. Don't let that make you feel like you have to give up if you don't feel like you should. Follow your gut. That's God. Okay? And our gut is really tuned into our brains. I'm not joking. That sixth sense that we have is something. Our brains are capable of so much. And you can create the reality that you want. You just need to keep that fear out of the way. You need to do the work, put in the steps. If you need help, you need to look for the resources, access the resources, ask for help. Okay? We live in a country that's resource rich, but access poor. People don't take advantage of all of the things that they can, whether it's pride or feeling like you have to do it all on your own without anybody's help. Bullshit. Nobody gets anywhere on their own. What do you think shares are all about in corporations and companies? Everybody's lifting that company up. Everybody is putting in the work. It's just a little different on a small business level because sometimes it's your friends working for free. Sometimes it's your friends working and you're bossing them around on where to put everything and where to go. Sometimes it's working together and rolling up your sleeves and getting the hay in out of the field before it rains, and then waiting on the payout at the end of the year when the crops are harvested from the field. Okay? Do you kind of catch what I'm stepping in? Do you kind of smell what I'm stepping in here? So I want you tonight to think of 3 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful that I have the help and the assistance I do in my business, because when I'm done with this cancer journey and I've reclaimed everything, then I have a business to go back to reclaim, and a project to work on. And that is exciting to me. I'm grateful for all of the people and programs that are out there to assist people like me. You know, I'm a single person. I'm a single woman. I have no children. I don't have family around me. My friends and neighbors and my church parish are my family. And so I'm grateful for all of those around me too, that have been here, that lift me up, that help. You know, I definitely could not do it without their help. I'm glad that these resources are there. I'm grateful that I live in a country where we have programs to help people like me. And as a small business owner, I don't get any FMLA. So I'm out here figuring this all out, how I can do it and keep things going and keep myself going. But I've had great people point me in the direction of community resources. I have put in the effort to access those, you know, so that I can keep as stable a life as possible during this major medical crisis of going through the journey of cancer, and so that I can have my life back better, actually, have a better life than I did before, because I have some more knowledge up here now. I have a different outlook on life too. It's, on one hand, having cancer really puts a lot of things into perspective, and you don't give a shit about a lot of the things you did before. Sometimes they're not even a thought. But anyway, that's that. And I'm blessed and grateful that some way, somehow, I've kept the faith. My faith has deepened, and I'm here. I have food to put in my belly. I have a roof over my head. I still have my store. I still have goals. I still have light in my heart. And if I can do this, I'm nobody special. I'm just a really stubborn Midwestern girl who has always dreamed big, wanted a lot, felt like there isn't enough time in this lifetime to accomplish everything I want to do. And I've been impatient. I'm nobody special. But what I am is tenacious. I keep going even when the going gets tough. I keep my eye on the prize. I know that falling down and getting back up and dusting yourself off is part of the process. I know that great risks have great rewards. But I also know that when you take great risks, you're going to also fall the hardest sometimes. But at least you tried. So, hang in there. I'm going to sign off now because I think that I've sat on this pulpit in the sofa session. That's what I'm going to call these, because I'm sitting here on my couch, the sofa session. How do you like my swanky 70s duvet cover that I cover the sofa with? I like it. And of course I wear black, so I get stuck with hair all over. I am an animal lover. They bring joy in my life. And that's another thing that has also driven me, is making sure I have a home for my fur babies. Making sure that they're able to be fed. That keeps me going. Nobody can love my fur babies as good as I can. They were a reason for living. All right. I'm Shena Collins. My mission is Shena Strong. Shena Strong. A lot of cancer patients will use that, their name and then strong. And it's very powerful to repeat those words. So powerful, I had it tattooed on. I branded myself, Shena Strong. I'll show you my tattoo sometime. It's on the back of my neck. But just know that all will be well. Walk in your truth. Keep your authenticity. And strive hard every day to be the best you can. And to live in the light. And to drown out the barking dogs and stay focused. Yeah, drown out the barking dogs and stay focused. All right. If you have questions, or if you would like any other information, or if you would like to get together with me and learn more about, some of the ways I've accessed resources, or how I've overcome obstacles in the business, how I'm doing things moving forward, keep watching these videos. But also reach out to me. You can send me a message. You can call me. I have multiple ways of contacting me. And we have this great social media thing out here, wonderful World Wide Web. And I can work with you one-on-one. We can get down to the nitty-gritty. I've been through it. And if I can get through it, so can you. All right. Peace and love, my friends. Mwah. Shena Collins with Shena Strong. With some... You can tell that I was digging in boxes today. All right. Have a great evening, everybody. Love you all. Thanks for checking in. Put that fear behind and go out there and be the best you that you can be. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here with me tonight. Bye-bye.